There is very limited insulation in the loft conversion, virtually no insulation in the extension, solid walls, no insulation in the floors, and this heat pump is only 7 kilowatts big and it's heating the house perfectly through the depths of winter.
You're on the Isle of Portland, Southwell. We've been here since 97. Terrace house, it's 1897 it was built. There were originally 2 bedrooms, but an addition was put in before we got here, and the loft space was taken over to make a larger bedroom, so it's officially a 3.
The house is full Portland stone. The Isle of Portland was very famous for having a stone quarry, so solid Portland stone, something you won't really find anywhere else. The U value I had to build, there's nothing out there. I couldn't find anything in Sibsey that sort of, I had to use other stones and stuff. It's quite a unique stone. So the U value is 1.64 for these stones, which is high for any wall really. Bit of a worrying prospect trying to heat it, I'll be honest. It had a gas boiler in here, which was a combi, which had a lot of power behind it. So it was a bit nerve-wracking, I'll be honest.
We had a Valent boiler when we moved in, and that unfortunately failed a couple of years afterwards. So we had a newer one put in and put that in 5 years ago, and that made a tremendous difference. So we were quite happy really at that point. The problem I found was that you would get very warm in the living room, kitchen generally up and down, but the rest of the house was variable to say the least. You go from room to room and you'd really notice a temperature change. It wasn't a great save the planet crusade as such. I'm afraid it was very financially driven. And one of the things that really tipped it, I think, was the Ukraine and the sudden spike. I found out about heat pumps. I found it very interesting, so I tried really to do a lot of research on whether it was suitable, whether it would work, whether we could afford it, and all the sorts of things. I found out the installations were variable, shall we say. There are good and bad, and I suppose that's the same with everything. But more consistently, I think it proved that Heat Geek were doing a better job than probably most. So that's why we went down that route. Once I looked at some of the videos from the Heat Geek site, it kind of gelled around that I would prefer somebody that took that approach.
Most important is my daily bath. I've got a huge great bathtub there and I love it. I need that to relax me. So anything that was going to interfere with my bath would be paramount, really. There was quite some conversations, needless to say, but when I saw some of the videos and information that Peter gave me prior to having the heat pump installed, I must admit I was a little bit worried installing it in this house, bearing in mind we're already living in it, and it was an old Victorian house. I knew the floor would all have to come up, and I knew there would be disruption everywhere, really, every single room. And so it was a bit daunting.
When I got here, I was like, where are we going to put it? It's mid-terrace, big row of terrace houses. Had no idea. I was like, oh, this is going to be really tricky to find somewhere decent for it. Walked in the house, it was okay. It's not an enormous house. It's a good sized house. And then we got into what the walls are made of, when the extension was built, how old the house was. And my heart sank a little bit. There's a loft conversion as well that had very minimal polystyrene insulation in it, if anything really. So after a couple of hours of walking around, having a chat, figuring out where the cylinder was going to go, which is right in front of a glass wall, so there's nowhere I can screw anything to. I sat in this room, had a chat with the guys, and honestly wasn't 100% sure I could do it. So I had to ask to go away and mull it over for a couple of weeks. So I was trying to get a key figure for the U value of the Portland stone because it was such a unique stone. And I just basically wanted to make sure that whatever I did was going to work.
Gareth himself is a real gentleman, no two ways about that, because he explained the worries that he had about doing the job here, helped me to decide, yes.
When he came in to do the installation, really was brilliant. I had watched installation videos. It didn't really prepare me for the amount of work that needed to be done. He worked very hard. It's an old house. It didn't give up easily. It fought him most of the way. I can do nothing but praise.
He worked quietly, so did his team. They were really focused on getting the job done. He spent a whole day on the floor in this cupboard doing this remarkable work of art of pipework. And then when he had to put the cylinders in and everything, he gave me the most space possible. And in fact, I can honestly say I've probably got more space now than, I had before.
If you get your heat loss right and you get your pressure drops, pump power through the pipes correctly, everything's seamless, basically, and everything works exactly how it says on the tin. If you get these things wrong, then it's quite easy to turn around and be like, well, heat pumps don't work. But it's not. It's that side of things that sort of negates everything. That part of it is probably 80% of the job. The rest of it is just installing a heating system, the same as you'd install any other heating system. This job has every possible way of fitting primary pipe work happening. Like on the back of the conservatory here, we've got white trunking to match in with the conservatory, and the pipes run in the trunking. Then they drop down and they go under the decking outside, which we had to insulate them in another way. That was quite tricky because the decking was only about yay far off the floor, so the pipes were virtually touching the floor out there. And then we came in, and the room we had to work in is really minimal.
The opinions on one side and the other are legion. It's incredible. I'm not sure that they've actually experienced it, to be honest, by some of their responses. One was noise. Oh God, it's noisy. Oh, when it was first put in, I was actually going up to it to feel the draft off it, to see what it was on. On a practical level, and with my ears, I would say at the absolute flat out, it's probably half the exhaust of a gas boiler, so it's not going to disturb that many people.
Whatever your views are on climate change, we do need to be a little bit better at what we're doing, and these are much, much kinder to the environment. And just for an end user, it's difficult to explain until you've experienced it. It's a much nicer heat. It really is. You're like, am I warm? I am warm. Yeah, instead of a gas boiler is just all guns blazing, and then you're like, oh, let's turn it down a bit, and then let's turn it up a bit. This is just a very nice, even heat.
To be able to say, right, it's all electric, it's not affecting us in our bills. We're not paying 2 lots of standing charge. We're not paying another bill on top of the electricity bill, etc. My installation was great. Other people's installations weren't so great. But don't always look on the negative side. Look at the good ones. Who's doing the good ones and what makes them better than somebody else's.
Gas boilers are going to be phased out. At the moment, there's a grant, so it makes sense to get on it now. But yeah, if you're on the fence about it, get in there now while there's a grant.
The first thing, I know it works. We've got no gas in the house at all now, so we've got rid of all those charges.
I think effortless would be my best way of putting it. It's not an infringement on anything, and it is an effortless piece of kit. It just blends in like it's always been there.